What's up everyone, welcome back to EightyFive the Ride. Today we're going to be checking out the Honda Rebel. Going to do a little bit of a review on this bad boy. This is the 2018 model. So I've had this thing for quite a few years, and I'll tell you what, I absolutely love the bike. We're just about to click over 10,000 Ks on the bike, just in time for picking up my new bike next month. So I thought I'd get a review done now. So it's a 471cc parallel twin motor. Same motor as in the CBF, R and X, I believe. The weight of these things are around the 190 kilo mark, so pretty light bike. They are a small little thing. So they do come with the slipper clutch. It is a 6-speed gearbox. I'm not sure on the exact seat height, but you do feel like you're sitting in the bike. It's quite a low seat, so definitely got your feet flat on the ground. I'm only about 5'7", 5'8" on a good day, and I think if you were over 6 foot, you might think this thing's a little bit tiny. You might have a little bit of trouble with the size. So I mean, I think it's a given, but test ride the bike before you go out and make the purchase. So change the seat out. This seat's definitely a lot comfier than your stock seat, especially for the passenger. So if you do run a passenger on the back, I think these things go quite well with a passenger on the back. I have my partner on here quite a bit. She loves this seat over the stock passenger seat. The passenger foot pegs, they've been changed out just to a cooler looking blacked out foot pegs. So I've gone through a few of my own foot pegs because, you know, this bike is very easy to lay over. As you can see, these ones have been almost scraped all the way through. Constantly scraping pegs on this thing. I took out the rubber because they have a bolt that actually sits lowest and that'll sort of hit first. So without that there, it's only about 5mm, but a bit more play before you scrape pegs. Some people whinge about vibration and that, but to be honest, I don't feel a thing. The customization options is just off the chain with these bikes. You know, they've already sort of got that old school bobber look, but I guess with modern day technology, which is great. You know, I've changed the grips over, a couple little things, changed over the levers. These levers are a little bit comfier. So if you were to drop the bike, hopefully your levers don't break on you. So I believe the newer models have a come out stock with LED lights, although because this one was a 2018, it could be the last time they had the halogen lights still, but it was something I was going to change. But because I'm running the grill, I kind of prefer the bit of the look with those yellow lights on the front still. Gives it that old school sort of look. I did put the boot covers on there again just to keep that old school look sort of happening. I know the special edition Rebels come out stock with those. Changed over the grill cover to a metal grill cover. Again, personal preference, looks a bit cooler. But we got the Shorty exhaust on here. I definitely prefer the sound of the Shorty exhaust. It's a lot louder. Multiple reasons for that. It doesn't only just sound better, but lets other drivers know that you're next to them, so you don't get merged into as often. Although, as anyone else that rides knows, it still happens. I threw on some saddlebags. You can definitely get bigger saddlebags than that, but that sort of does the job for what I need it for. I usually just bring some film and stuff with me, some extra bits and pieces. So we've also got the 2-inch bar raisers on here. Again, personal preference, I've got a bad back, so having those bars a little bit higher allows me to sit just that little bit straighter. Nice and easy to put on. I didn't have to change any of my cables and that over. Everything still reaches fine. I think if you were to go any higher than 2-inch, you'd have to change the cables and that over as well, but just the 2 inches is just enough. So on this bike we're also all digital. The keys down to the left, real cruiser style. So not much going on here. Fuel, your kilometers and your speedo. You got a little clock up here as well. Really basic, really easy to use. Again, these bikes are just so easy to kit out. The options for them is just unreal. You can definitely make it your own. You can even get, you know, completely lose the rear guard if you wanted to. Really bobber the bike out, even down to like little plastic covers that'll cover up the top here. I've changed these out to have these sort of like wings in it, I suppose. They're usually smooth. The entire rear end has had the lights changed over. They come out with a really beefy rear end on them. I just absolutely hate the look of the rear light setup from stock. So luckily for me, I have a Leco mate came around and did all the wiring for me because I was pretty lost with that. But definitely like that tidier tail look. Just looks heaps better. What else have we got in here? And the tyres are definitely a standout look for this bike. You'll notice the above average fatter front tyre. I absolutely love it. And handling wise, I think they just absolutely grip in the twisties. gotten rid of the Dunlops and threw on the Pirelli Night Dragons, which are a super sticky tyre. They're not really built for the wet weather, though I do try to avoid riding in the wet weather at all costs because I just absolutely hate it. I don't find it enjoyable whatsoever. I have been caught out in the rain. Obviously it happens a couple times and they still hold up all right, though if you don't ride in the rain very much and you want a nice sticky grippy tyre, I would definitely recommend the Pirelli Night Dragons. Yeah, they are amazing. One big complaint that I do have about the bike, it is about, I think it's 12 litre tank size, so not very big. You do go through the fuel pretty quickly. I know with the 1100s they've got a bigger fuel tank on there, so they've definitely sorted out that problem. The 500's still obviously running that smaller 12 litre tank. Another thing I have changed with the bike, just to give it that little bit of extra power, is the K&N air filter. Definitely helps it breathe a lot more than your stock. If you ride this bike all the time and you change the filter over, I believe you will feel the difference. It's not a crazy difference, but just a little bit of extra grunt, mostly down low, just that little bit more response and everything. All right guys, so with all that being said, let's jump on and have a bit of a go at how she rides. All right guys, let's get going. Alrighty guys, so we are on a bit of a abandoned haul road. It doesn't really get used much, so kind of can muck around a little bit. I am running the tape again. Unfortunately, the last couple videos I decided to take the tape off, and people are really quick to jump onto the fact that you might be doing 10k's over the speed limit. So I'm going to run the tape and just, you know, be done with the fact. But for a muck around bike through like tight corners and stuff, this thing is just a heap of fun. Like I said, you can really lay the bike over, you can really throw the bike around. One thing I probably would upgrade is the rear brake. The front brake's really good, so you can really chock that brake on and she wants to haul up, but like I said, the suspension and everything's great. Really soaks up the bumps and that very well. Even in a corner like that, that mixed with the grippy tyres, just a bike that you can very easily throw around with little to no effort. Again, just sort of giving you guys a little bit of an example of just how nimble the bike is. Yeah, she's a heap of fun. For anyone that does watch my videos, you'd know anyway I take this bike off-road here and there, and it does pretty good through, you know, a lot of the bumps in the dirt and that. So I also run a splash of higher octane fuel just in with the 98 from the Bowsers, so it does give it that little bit of extra go as well. So here we go, we've got to go off-road to get out of here. So as you can see, don't know how good it comes up on the GoPro, but it's pretty rough out here. Well, one thing I'm thinking of doing, I don't want to get rid of this bike, right? Like, it is just such a fun bike, it's won me over. Yes, I'm upgrading to the Indian Scout Bobber, but I'm going to hold on to this thing. I kind of want to make a bit of a project bike out of it. I want to definitely put some knobbies on there, take all the lights off, and maybe take it up the property and sort of run the bike up there mostly. You know, just have some fun on the tracks. Nothing too crazy, but make a bit of a project bike. Again, mostly flat stuff, but yeah, make it a bit more of an off-road bike. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Here we are, back out to the road. So you can really grab a fistful of throttle, and as you can see, only just clicked up into 6N. It has a lot of balls for a 500. It does well on the freeway. It'll easily sit on 110 kilometers plus, obviously, if you want to, without revving it too hard. Personally, it's probably not comfortable to be, you know, sitting on 110 for too long. But if you've got to, you know, jump onto the freeway for a half hour or something, it's definitely a capable bike, absolutely. One of my other favourite things about this bike is the foot peg position. The bike in general gives you a really neutral sitting position, so the foot pegs are, you know, a bit further back. They're not sort of sitting out in front of you like a lot of your other bigger cruisers and that. Foot pegs are back, so it gives you the option to stand up over bumps, just to get your ass off the seat, to take away, you know, a lot of the impact from some really nasty bumps and stuff. I think we might chuck a left here. Very well balanced. I can stand with my legs straight, even knees slightly bent. Again, I'm not the tallest bloke, so I'm doing that without hitting the tank at all. Again, super nimble bike. If anyone asks how would you describe your Rebel, it's just fun. It is such a fun bike to ride. Alright guys, so we're currently sitting in traffic here. We've got a cow strolling past, mooing. Again, here's how, you know, I've got my legs bent, touching the ground here. Sort of shows how much you sit down in the bike. Super low to the ground, that's both feet, legs bent, very easy to balance. Again, with those big tyres that are on here, happy to sit and stretch and sort of move the bike around just with my waist. Such a light, easy bike. Great for learners. If you're into cruisers and you're looking at getting a cruiser and you haven't had a bike license before, I think it's the perfect bike to start on because it is light and easy to throw around, and you can grow into it. That's the good thing. So you won't need to, you know, buy a bike and then 6 to 12 months down the track wish you got something bigger or have to spend more money and get something bigger. This is something you can grow into and potentially just hold on to. And if you are just someone getting into cruisers in general, I would suggest having a look at both the 500 and the 1100. Good entry cruiser level bike, in my opinion. I said, ticks all the boxes. It's not like a full-on cruiser. It's a good way to transition over into the cruiser world. The 1100's having that bit more power, obviously. The bigger fuel tank for longer distance. They're probably the biggest pluses about that bike. Oh, look at this road, eh? This is trash. Now this is why you need a bike with good suspension, because crappy roads like this, I hope they're retarring it. All they ever do is fill in potholes. If you're from my area, you'll know just how bad this road is. And by the looks of it, from this little tar patch here, they're finally doing it. I got sent pictures of a car tipped upside down right on that corner there, so I suppose they were just waiting for someone to have a bad enough accident before they took the plunge to actually retar this thing. So I'm absolutely cheering they're finally retarring it, but it's a shame that the council here in Australia waits for something bad to happen before they ever do anything about, you know, bad patches of road and that. But whatever, classic Australian councils, eh? So again, I mean, this bike is great for all these country roads, open roads, big windy corners and things like that, bumpier roads, you know, this thing's great. But if you've seen my other videos, you'll know I use this thing to cruise in town. So, you know, a lot of stop starts, a great bike for that. You've definitely got a world of options with this bike. You don't have to, it's not built just for open roads like this. It's great for tight stuff in town. Really easy bike to move around and things like that. So it just, to me, again, it just ticks all the boxes. Although I suggest putting a louder exhaust on here if you were, you know, chasing a bike that was a little bit quieter. The stock exhaust has a nice grumble to it, but it's definitely a quiet bike right off the bat. You know, if you are someone that likes a quieter bike, it's definitely the stock muffler is for you. Biggest thing for me with this bike is just the fuel tank size. Little pro tip though, just fill up a couple jerry cans or even just have one at home, and every time you get back from a ride, rather than stopping at the fuel station every time, just top it up with fuel at home. You top it up each ride, you get a few refills out of that. Saves a world of effort. Alrighty guys, that about does it for the video. If you did enjoy it, like, subscribe and comment. Check out our Facebook and Instagram. Web store's finally up and running. Everything goes back and supports the channel. And thanks again for watching. Cheers.